Hello, Jack Shitama again, and today I want to give you a few takeaways from a book called The Healthy Habit Revolution. It's not a very large book. It's by Derek Depker and Marjorie Kramer. It's available in both print and ebook, and it may be worth checking out because it's got a lot of ways to keep you going. It starts with micro habits and helps you to think about how you can develop a habit and keep it going, sustain it. Um, Today I'm going to talk about some of the takeaways that focus on losing momentum and being able to keep up our effort when things are getting difficult. Um, so if you've tried to develop a habit, you know that there are going to be times when you don't do it. You slip up, and you kind of lose motivation. You lose momentum, and then you lose motivation. And this is exactly the time when you need to just jump right back in. You didn't do it today, but tomorrow you can do it. And instead of saying, well, I'm just not going to make it. Remind yourself that you're in it for the long run. Say, this won't matter in the long run so long as I get back into the swing of things right now. And the next possible chance, keep up your effort again. So this is really important because we're all going to miss days. We're all going to fall short from time to time. And to think of it as a marathon, not a sprint, is really important. To know that one day does not make a difference when you're able to have many, many more days where you consistently show up. So that's the first thing is don't let a missed day sidetrack you. Just don't let it bring you down. Don't let it discourage you. It's just one day, and give yourself some positive self-talk. Say, I just need to get back into it the next possible chance. Some other takeaways are, this idea of test and learn. Ask, what can I learn from this? What caused the fact that I slipped up today, or what obstacles did I encounter? What caused me to lose my motivation? Because I think if you do take some time to reflect, if you journal or if you have a time to meditate on it, you'll find that you can actually learn from it and help to avoid those circumstances in the future or figure out ways to eliminate the obstacles. On the positive side, you can also learn what things actually help you stick with your habit. What things are positive. And of course, you can always ask, what can I do better? This whole idea of test and learn is not just about the overall habit, but all the little things involved with enabling you to maintain your effort. And then finally, environment is stronger than willpower. This has been shown over and over again that how you manage your environment will make a big difference in how successful you are in habit formation and goal achievement. I have a little desk that I sit at in a spare bedroom, and that's where I do my writing. And I can write other places, but when I sit down here, I also do other work here. But when I sit down here to write, I feel like I'm in my zone. I'm in my place. I was listening to a podcast the other day with an author, Steve Scott, who's written, I think, 68 books over 4 years. And he writes in coffee shops. He actually leaves his house and goes and sits in coffee shops. And he tested all of the different Starbucks in the area, or all the different coffee shops, and he found the one where he actually was the most productive. And that's the one then he stuck with. For some reason, the environment there was most important to him. A really strong example goes back to the Vietnam War, where the estimates were that about 1 in 5 soldiers in Vietnam, U.S. soldiers in Vietnam, was addicted to heroin. And U.S. health officials were predicting a major, major catastrophe when they came back in terms of addiction and drug abuse. And as it turned out, a very, very small percentage of those soldiers came back and actually remained addicted to heroin. And what they attribute that to is just the power of the environment. And in Vietnam, there was fear, there was boredom, and there was access to the drugs. and when they got home, in their home environment, it wasn't that way at all. Access was more difficult. There wasn't that constant fear, and they were able to maintain an active life in general, where they didn't have this boredom where they wanted to use heroin. So environment really is critical, and what you want to do is you want to think about the places that really work for you, and lean into that. Take advantage of that. So if it's exercising and it's at the club, then do it at the club. Or if it's I do some strength exercises. I have a particular spot in my living room, and when I line up there, I'm ready to go. So if it's eating, try to manage your environment. If you're trying to not eat junk food, then don't buy junk food. Don't keep it in the house. Get rid of it, and only keep healthy food in your refrigerator and your pantry. So you can always manage your environment more intentionally to enable you to be more successful in your habit formation. And then finally, come up with a word to describe you as a person that embodies your healthy habit. And they recommend using the suffix or added onto the word that you're doing. So if your habit is to read every day, you're a reader. If it's to meditate, you're a meditator. If it's to exercise, you're an exerciser. And what you do is then you come up with a statement about what do I enjoy about being. That's a question. What do I enjoy about being what this is? And I appreciate it because. And so, for example, if your habit is to become a healthy eater, you can say, what do I enjoy about being a healthy eater? And you know, might say, I appreciate my habit of eating healthy because I love taking care of my body, having tons of energy, and looking ridiculously amazing. So this is a way to live into your identity. Back in the spring of 2009, I started exercising on a treadmill, and in the fall, I actually started running. And it was probably about a year and a half, 2 years before I started to say I'm a runner. I didn't. I was doing it regularly, doing it 5, 6 times a week for over a year and a half, and yet in my mind I hadn't said I'm a runner. I guess I wasn't letting myself believe it. And rather than deny it, it's actually better to embrace it as early as possible, because as you embrace that identity, it's actually going to give you the motivation and the momentum on those days when maybe you could teeter totter, you could go one way or the other, and not actually make the effort to do your habit. So creating this identity is something that can help you to sustain your effort and to develop that habit so it becomes something that's automatic. So next time, keep showing up, keep up the consistent effort. You can do it.